The narrative of the messaging you're handling on your timelines every day. You need to be empowered for past an event, but on a daily basis.
No, it's a half.
How do you like your dick sucked?
Well, I get my dick sucked as soon as I come out the fucking gym.
In the sense of maybe working in the movie industry, working in print, or having your own, I want to say, escort service. Can we call it that still? Is it taboo? Or everything that is done within the sex industry is considered taboo. Even the positions that you hold, sex therapist, sex toe, radio sex toe hostess, all of it is taboo. It's difficult to tell people like, hey, this is what I do, but kudos for doing so. But I'd like to know, how do you personally define yourselves, being that you come from very unique and different cultural and social backgrounds. How do you define yourselves, particularly in relation to your current environment, and how that has defined your work, And has that identification served as an advantage or disadvantage in your careers?
I know. I'm a very open-minded. I grew up like that. And I grew up with a group of men. Every weekend I have a group of men in my house. Like doing get-togethers, all that kind of stuff. And I've been raised, and what I see in the social media now is that every woman wants to empower themselves, but they only teach you how to love yourself, how to not be abused by a man, but nobody tells you how to empower yourself in the sex life, And that's why I wanted to do this so badly. You hear every radio station all the time, like putting the same music, singing the same songs, and nobody does a sex radio show. Like educate you about sex, and that's what I wanted to do this, because we need this. We need this in our community to talk about sex like professionally, but in a very good way.
So, in my line of work, a lot of people come in, and what I can tell you is that the ideas that they have about sex and the narrative they have about sex comes usually from their parents. And a lot of times, they didn't have conversations at home about sex. I personally grew up in the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. My mother was a substance abuser. So I was out on the streets at a very young age, and so I was out there seeing people have trains run on them. You guys know the narrative, right? I knew the girls on the staircase, on the roof, in the park. People were just really broken. And so a lot of the sexual behaviors were considered deviant. No one was having conversations. No one understood how you get pregnant, how you protect yourself from an STD. No one really talked about these things. So when I get adult women, they come into my office and they're even afraid to talk to me. And if you can't talk to your therapist, honey, let me just tell you, tell your therapist the truth. Because if you don't tell the truth, then I can't help.
So let me ask you a question. You have women who come into, therapists to see them. Do you find that sometimes domestic violence is behind that deviant behavior or the acceptance of that deviant behavior?
So it depends, because domestic violence in and of itself usually has a root as well, right? So the abuser has a root, and the person who is being abused, there's a reason why she's playing the victim to that also, right? So we can deal with both of them. Both of them would be my clients. Whichever one walks into the room is the one that I have to treat. I have had women come into my office and tell me that they are in an abusive relationship and their abuser is making them have sex with other people in front of him to entertain him, to satisfy him. And if they don't do, they'll get beat up. You know, like I've definitely had those kind of situations, and then I have to find a way to help that person, and sometimes they don't want the help because they are used to being abused.
Well, what advice do you have for women who are in situations where they're being abused by their mates, you know? When a woman says no, no is no, right? And it's your right to say no. As somebody who embraces your sexuality, you should be able to decline or accept advances, whether, you know, irregardless of the situation that you're in. So, how do you think it affects a woman, or do you think that it makes much of a difference in, you know, being put in a situation like that, coming from someone who maybe has totally learned how to accept themselves, and now they're put in a situation where they have to keep quiet about it because, well, it is just what it is.
So it sounds like you're talking about two different things. I feel like there were two questions from that.
There are two questions.
Right, so can you give me one at a time?
First question, how do you handle the person who comes to you that way? That was strong before and is now broken. How do you repair that? How do you repair that process?
So usually a victim was not strong before and then broken down. Usually a victim was a victim and already in childhood she's already internalized some kind of abuse. She's seen a mother who was abused. She's had a father maybe who was abusive. So it was already usually happening. And it took root, and then she goes out and she models the same behaviors or seeks out people who treat her the way that another abuser treated her or the way she saw her parents treated.
Is that usually because it was sexual abuse that they were exposed to, or is it because it was some other form of abuse?
It's not always sexual abuse. Sometimes, for example, I can use myself. Before I was a therapist, I was the daughter of a crackhead. So for me, I was looking for love. Nobody was abusing me, nobody touched me, nobody hit me, but also nobody tugged me, right? So I wanted a hug, I wanted to be engaged and to be loved. And so a lot of times it really just starts there. But strong women, strong children, and this is why mommies, teach your children to speak up. Don't tell your daughter she's bossy, tell her she's a leader. Don't tell, right? Because you want a child to be assertive because the abuser's not going to pick her.
Exactly.
The abuser's going to pick the quiet one. And tell her, you know, you can't tell anybody because if you do, I'm going to hurt your mommy. The little, I was like, no, you not. You ain't not. And my mother's on the street, she will cut you, you know, like. So I wasn't likely to get abused, but there are people that are. So you don't want your child to feel afraid. You want them to speak, encourage them to talk.
And in my case, I was in a domestic violence relationship, and I did not witness that, and I did not witness sexual abuse. What I did witness was emotional abuse. And I never, again, my mother never got hit. My mother, if anything, my mother was doing a hit. She was a chick throwing a can at a dude, if anything. So whenever I tell people this story, and they know me now as this entrepreneur woman they see now, they don't understand. How could someone like me, this is what I get, how could someone like you be in a relationship where you're getting hit and smacked and all this stuff? And I said, because I witnessed my mother constantly trying to save a man. So I thought that this was just another form of saving, because it's not every day. And he's good to me in other ways. And damn, this sex is motherfucking amazing. Girl. Okay, so again, abuse has many layers. I'm the opposite. I didn't see it and I tolerated it. But I didn't see the form that I was in. I saw a different form and didn't realize until I became, you know, an emotional healer and into the mental health world. I didn't realize that my abuse that I tolerated and participated in. I want to say this to victims and people out there. I don't blame him for everything that happened because I participated. I wasn't the only one sitting there getting hit. I also did the hitting back, and that also made me justify it. Because girls get to say, well, you're not beating me, we fighting. It's not different. It's not.
Not everybody hits back.
No, I know. I'm aware of that. I can only speak to the girls, and I see some clapping and understanding, because once you get hit, you start to get defensive and start doing the hitting first. Because what you not going to do, but then you justify it in a way where it's not domestic violence. It's tough love. We're fighting. You see what I'm saying? But I saw none of it, and the sex kept me there. And the money kept me there, because I was kept and loved my Fendi bags. I was kept and loved my bloody shoes. You understand what I'm saying? So it comes in different forms, and as healers and emotional and mental health healers, you have to understand that everybody walking in is going to come with a different form of abuse.
But how do you then recover sexually from that? Because, you know, you bartered, you know, that sexuality within that abuse, right?
I did, yes.
Yes, you did.
I did.
So how does one who's been in a situation like that, how do they recover from that?
Everyone's recovery is different. My recovery came when I started to look inward. You know, you can play the blame game all day long. You can say it's his fault, you can say he did this, or if you're in a same-sex relationship, you can say she did this or he did that. But what did I do? What did I allow? What did I participate in? Where is the root to me being a partner in this abuse? We always like to point the finger. So my saving came when I stopped looking outward and started looking inward. Always that is where the key is. You get silent, you get still, you decide that you are worth it, and you decide and you say out loud, I don't know how to love myself. I don't know why I like this man even though he hurts me. I don't know. That's it.
Then you come to me.
You come to me.
You come to me for the why, right? You come to her because she coaches you. She coaches you after you figure out why you do it, right? You need someone to help you to do new behaviors, to practice new behaviors, and that's the life architect thing, right? So you get the therapy and you get the coaching.
Well, ladies, let's all welcome Miss Candace Vaughn, who was dropped by to join this panel, you know, just fabulously, fashionably late. Welcome, Candace. We started without you, but jump right in. So, ladies, let me ask you a question. All four of you, you know, do you find that men expect you to be sexual superheroes because, you know, sexual superheroes because of your line of work? You know, being therapists, you know, the three of you being super knowledgeable, you know, book-wise about it, and Candace having that one-on-one experience with it. Talk to me, baby girl. Well, if you guys don't know who Candace is, Candace joined in late, so Candace, kindly introduce yourself to these wonderful people here.
Hi, ladies. Thank you for having me. I'm in the adult business. Hey, baby. I've been in the business for about 12 years, and I love it. I love it. I love what I do. But to answer your question, yes, it's like they automatically assume like I'm actually gonna come off the ceiling onto his dick, like you know what I'm saying, right? First of all, that's a high praise. You gotta pay for everything. But yeah, it's like they assume, but in my personal life, sex, I like it to be a little bit more intimate, a little bit more. I'm more submissive in my personal life. Like, you know, when I want to be, so it's like it's a little different. So guys do assume,
You know, they always take the liberty, but
As a sexologist in a sex talk show, they expecting to be like, you know, like they always ask me, oh, you must be this, you must be that. But no, girl, I have the most boring sex life ever. You know, all I don't need is theory. It's theory. Yes, and but I mean, I said. I heard and know things that I never do and I never expecting to do. But they think, as a sexologist, they think that I know everything about sex, and it's
okay, so you know the theory and you're learning about it, right? But okay, so why is your sex life boring?
It's just an expression. It's expression. I mean, I'm not doing all. That's what I meant. I'm not doing all. I'm not a swinger. I'm not a threesome girl. But that's what I meant.
Experimentation, baby. So Candace, let me throw this question at you. How did you break into the adult entertainment industry? Or let me just put it to you as I would personally put it to you. How the fuck did you become a
college at the time, you know, but I've always been like sexually free, you know, always been open, liberated, felt very cool. Thank you. Comfortable, and it's funny, one of my best friends is here. Where you at, Money? Well, that's my best friend to my best friend, Diana, but this is my best friend of 15, 16 years. She was there. She was there when we first, like when I first got into the business, and the experience of, you know, we went out, and when I first did my first movie, and people saw who I was, and it was like, the response was like, oh, okay, they know who I am.
Was it difficult for you?
It wasn't for me, it was more so difficult for how my family was going to take it, and my brothers and sisters, because I'm the oldest of like 5, so my brothers are like in their 20s, so they were in their teens then, so it was like, how are they going to take it? Then I have a little sister, so it was that. My brothers are more just protective of me. They're more like, that's my sister, you know, because their homies would be like, yo, you know your sister? Watch your sister, and they're like, yeah, all right, but that's still my sister, you feel me? So,
was your motivation more financial, or was
it? Of course. Like, I mean, I love sex at the end of the day, but it was more about the money. You know what I mean? I'm a female, and I was, you know, I went to school, went to college.
When's the next show?
I've always,
When's your next show?
You know, growing up, as a woman, as an attractive woman, you use your sexuality to maneuver through life. So as a young girl, you know, I learned that. And then I went to school, and I went to, I got approached by a company in Miami called Ray Rose. And it was about the money. They offered me a lot of money at the time. And I didn't realize at the time how quick I would be so popular. You understand? At first it was about the money. When I got popular, it was like, oh, okay.
You can't have both of us sitting there because they're going to be like, yo.
And that's when I, you know, just got into it. But I love it. I don't regret it. I've traveled the world. I've seen, you know, met so many good people.
I did 1 year ago.
And I think I'm more comfortable with my sexuality than a lot of other women that are, we call squares. You know, in business, we call women that are not in business squares. Because they consider living in a box. They don't think outside the box. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we consider, you know, I think sexually, I think I'm more comfortable with myself. A lot of women don't know themselves sexually. They don't experience it. They're boy crazy and men crazy. And it's like, if you focus about you and learn yourself sexually, it's, you know what I'm saying? You'll be more comfortable with yourself and get further and learn men better when you learn yourself sexually. Because you can respond sexually to certain things and not know that it's in you. If you knew how to control that, you'd be a different kind of woman. You know what I mean? Yeah, so definitely.
I think if I were in the business, I probably would call other women squares. I get it. But I just want to represent for those of us who are free sexually, because some of us are.
No, I got friends that are, you know, that are definitely.
Because I pulled up your porn to see what you was doing. Yes, I did. So, because I wanted to know who was going to be on the panel with me, you know, but I am very free sexually. It was for the show. For the show. But I think that like we can't have this conversation without really understanding that we live in a society that is systemically oppressive of women. Yes. Women are not taught to enjoy sex. Women are really, especially historically, objects. We're objectified. We are here for men's sexual pleasure, right? No one cares about what we do. Like, it's just now we've evolved over time to talk about orgasms and to actually do it for our own pleasure, not just for the purpose of birthing children and, you know, be fruitful and multiply and all that stuff. We normally just really objectify. And so I do agree with you that if you own your sexuality, you will be a different kind of woman. I love the way that you put that. But I do have one question for you, because I think this is important. I think, first off, I get men with erectile dysfunction who come in. A lot of them are desensitized because they watch porn. And so they're turned on by porn and can't be turned on by real women. right? Squares. They can't, squares don't do it for them.
That's, I can't control that.
No, of course not. No,
that comes to like
the question is, because what we see, because it's still entertainment, right? It's still entertainment, there's still cameras, makeup, whatever. What is it really like? Are you just we watch and you're ready and you go? But what happens behind the scenes? Like, how do you get ready, or, you know, is it always pleasurable? Because even in sex, I'm a free woman. I've had dudes that I'm bored. No matter how free I am.
But you're doing it for a cause, though. But you're doing it for a cause, though. It's a reason. Okay, exactly. Well, to answer that question, I'm on set. It depends. I'm very professional, though, and I saw a lot of people. It can be good and bad. Some people like to work for me, some people don't, because I don't play. Like, once I'm on set, let's get it done, let's get this bread, and let's get off set. Like, I'm not here to, you know what I'm saying? You know, in sex, like you said, I'm not here to, if we wasn't on set and I was getting paid, I wouldn't be fucking. So, you know what I'm saying? So on set, it's a different mindset. You know what I mean? I'm completely blocked off. It's like, I'm here to work, let's get to work. It's just like being, I would say, on a movie set outside of, you know, it's like we have rehearsal real quick, you know, we have makeup, we have dressing, things like that. Some sets are a little quicker than others, but we do go through the whole makeup, the whole, you know, sometimes if a scene requires lines, then they'll send you a script in advance. But if you have good chemistry and you, like I said, the people that are comfortable with themselves sexually, we get the job done quick. We get on set and you can believe it. You watch it and at home, people watching it enjoy it. They don't know I didn't really, like, sometimes I've come on set, but I only come when there's only something, honestly.
Honestly, that was the next question.
If it's just being a dude, it's straight. But if it's another girl, then I get a little, you know. I read energy, I'm all about energy. I can feel you from a mile away. I can feel your vibe from a mile away, whether it's sexually or even just a friendly energy. But sexual energy is very strong. You know what I'm saying? So if I have even with women don't understand that either. You may meet a woman and it's like you have an energy where you don't understand why. It may be sexual too, and it's not only, you know, friendly and maybe sexual.
So let me ask you ladies another question. Fucking is fucking, but there's also another thing called intimacy, right?
Different.
Yes, and there's a huge difference. They're not the same, you know, and I think that it takes somebody who was basically embraced themselves sexually to be able to allow intimacy. So let me ask all four of you, you know, coming from different backgrounds within the sex industry, how do you define sexual intimacy?
Those things are good, Gene. Who made them?
Sexual intimacy is love. It's what you call love. Besides everything, when you in love, you connected to that people like right away. So that's what I call sexual intimacy. So
I think that, let me just say this, I was married and I was in love with my husband and we had no intimacy. I divorced him. Okay? So you can love somebody and not have intimacy. You can also meet someone that you've never really had a relationship with and have chemistry and be incredibly intimate. So I think that first off, you have to learn to define it for yourself. For me personally, conversation. Intellectual conversation turns me on. When a man is smart and he can teach me things, I'm like, man, I'm driven, I'm moist, I'm like, whoa, right? So, but that's what it is for me. Someone who listens to me, someone who hears me. When someone who looks at me and I feel seen, right? Because I've had guys look through me. One of the things that I can say, I'm dating, I'm divorced, so I'm dating, and I feel very disposable, and I blame it on the culture. I feel disposable as a woman. I feel like so many women have sexual standards that a man is like, okay, you don't want to do this, they don't want to step up, they'll just go find somebody else who will play the game with them. I won't. So when a man can look at me and I feel seen, when I can speak and I feel heard, right, and we can have a conversation, and that does it for me. It makes me feel close to them.
I like that. No.
I agree with Cynthia. I'm a sapiosexual. That is what that means. When your mind is turned on and everything can happen when the body follows. Most women have to be turned on mentally first. Right? Between the ears is my big wet spot. Right? That's the G spot. Right? But Aaliyah said and everybody on this panel said, we don't make men. We allow this mediocre bullshit, okay, all just because we're scared of lonely, right? So we don't really look in the eyes anymore. We don't connect. We're not touching and feeling. It goes straight to dick and pussy, right? So for me, intimacy has nothing to do with sex, not only because it's not sex, but because it's so much more. It is my soul meeting yours for whatever the moment is. It don't have to be past today. It don't have to be past this hour. Hell, it could be in this 5 minutes in this bathroom. Or whatever it is. It was strong. It was for the moment. And the pleasure is maximized past anything I can feel with you with your penis. I think women need to be more clear about what we need. Speak your needs. I need you to turn me on. No, we're not fucking. I need you to turn me on. I need these nipples hard. I need this pussy wet. Without lubrication. Without coconut oil. Right? I need the hairs on the back of my neck. I need that Alicia Keys teenage love affair. That's what I need. That's what I need. I need to feel like you're my high school boyfriend that we couldn't do nothing but make out, Candace, right? We were young, we was dry humping through our Levi's and Jordans, and that's all I needed. That's all I needed to get by. That, to me, is intimacy.
Let me hear from you, Candace.
Intimacy is a little different, you know what I mean? Because I have sex for a living. So it's changing. As I get older, it also changes. The more I get to know my body and myself, it changes. So for me now, it's like intimacy is more so like you understanding me and seeing through what I do for a living. Being able to see past that and past you being a fan and also being afraid to confront your men, your homies that you can be with me. You understand what I mean? So, but you go home and jerk off to me at night, but at the same time, you can't be in real life. So those are the same guys like you mentioned earlier, those same men that can't fuck their woman, but will jerk off and come 10 times from watching me on camera. But you can't have that feeling with a woman in front. Those are the same people that are on Instagram and social media that are bullying people and that can't face somebody in front people. Those are the same people. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, yeah, they're you know, cyber bullies. It's also people that can just be fantasizing their mind. So that's where porn can be good or bad. You know, it can help or it can hurt, but at the same time, it's an addiction, it's anything else. But intimacy for me, like I was saying, is more so, you know, personal time. Like if I can feel like sex, we're gonna be sex. If I want it and I want to give it to you, we're gonna have it. But if I want to keep you and if I want to come back, you know what I'm saying? Because it's also having great sex, but it's also having good sex, continuous good sex. That one sex could be good and you're like, damn, it was good, but then you go back and you're like, what happened to you? What happened to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but I just like, you know, I like a guy that can see past a real man, you know, a strong man that doesn't care. I don't really like a lot of guys like social media. Like, you know, if you don't have a social media that's attractive to me, there's very few men left that don't have, that's not worried about, oh, let me check my Instagram in the morning, did you see this? I like things like that. I want a man that she said can teach you. I want you to, I know a lot, I've seen a lot. I've seen a million dicks, I've seen a lot of money. It's like, what can you teach me? Like, what can you show me? And then, like she said, my pussy will get wet and things will flow from me. I'm still a woman, a normal woman. I just choose to have sex for money instead of for free.
How many of us had sex for no money? Like, no, let's talk about it.
You're still fucking for a living. It's still the same thing. I just charge by the hour.
I feel like so many people judge. She's right. I feel like so many people judge the sex industry, right? But we all out here laying on our backs taking bullshit, and we ain't even getting anonymous. So if you're smart enough to know that, you know, you have a skill, and Candace has skills. Yes. If you're smart enough to do that, I think as women, even if we're not in Candace's lane, even if we wouldn't do what Candace would do, I think we need to applaud the entrepreneurship that she brings to the table in women like her.
It's a little bit more personal. It comes from when I was young, I was abused. So instead of me being a victim, I grew up and I wanted to be empowered. So I said, instead of any man could never take anything else from me, I'm charging every nigga coming my way. You understand? So more personal, that's just a person. I don't really open up about that too much, but that's where it really comes from, me being abused as a young girl and not knowing what to do, taking my power back. So when I got the opportunity to join the adult industry, I was in college. I could have, you know, all, but I chose that, and I didn't learn that till I got older. I said, why did I go in so hard? Why did I go in so? It was because I had that in the back of my head, and I had a vengeance. So now it's like I can read men with the back of my head. Like I can see you're not gonna you're not gonna go do these things. Exactly. Especially at least sexually and mentally. You know, control yourself.
Do you ever compare your professional dick to your personal dick? Speak your truth, baby.
Personal dick is like, industry dick is not like the size don't be the same. Cameras make them bigger. It's so different. You know what I'm saying? So if I choose to fuck you on a side, you got it. Like, do I? I do.
I'll run the ball.
Sometimes, you know. I'm a girl.
Give me something niggas again.
I like to have fun too, but I like
whatever
women
you
too.
feel.
Like I like men.
I can get you a few minutes, but
Do you feel that
Listen, if you do that, I'll give you the whole fucking ball.
matters?
I don't.
Sometimes. It depends. Not always the motions. If it's little, it's little.
Yeah.
Now you can do it.
So many cops.
It's just not you can do it.
I
can't feel you. I don't know.
I'll take a shot.
But I like
right behind
thickness
that.
rather than length.
It tastes like a
I
wet
like
man.
girth. Fill me up.
It's gonna be wet.
I'd rather that than you poke.
I want to be wet.
Like a long stick will keep poking you. Stabbing you, hey. Yeah.
She said, what do you want to say?
All right, y'all. Ladies, I just want to say this, and thank you so much because before you came in, we talked about what's considered deviant behavior and taboo, and I stated that a lot of it stems from abuse and from trauma. So I commend you because a lot of us don't ever take ownership and take our power back, and a lot of us don't do it in a healthy way. You know, and I think that you can be healed and still choose to do the work that you do, but there's a difference doing it from a broken place and doing it from a healed place. But I have to do this. I just want to read this to you. Please, this is quick, but there's no such thing as a whore. It exists no more than unicorns or mermaids. It's a word made up by men to keep women in a subordinate role. You can go out, wear short dresses, reveal your skin, and fuck a different man every day of the week. It still doesn't make you one. Yet, we still use it today to police women who display behaviors that we're not comfortable with or that challenge societal norms. Your love of your body, your freedom to choose what you do with it, and your passionate desires are not a stick with which to beat you. They are just elements of your humanity, and men have never been made to feel ashamed of their humanness. So don't ever lower your chin for yours. And this was written by Salma Alvar on Instagram.
We've talked a lot about the heavy. We've talked a lot, you know, before you even got here, Candace, about the whys, right? And we've talked about the empowering. So I think that a lot of the women here understand that, yes, you need to embrace yourself. Yes, you need to be sexually strong. Yes, you need to be sexually assertive and ask for what you want. And you don't be afraid to take what you want. Just don't go raping nobody. But, you take what you want. There is, rape, and there is a difference. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with liking what you like and wanting what you want, right? So now the question to you ladies is, how do we now, speak to our fellow ladies that are here in this audience to let them know, to kind of guide them into self-discovery, because a lot of people think that they know themselves sexually, but they don't.
First of all, you need to know yourself. You need to know yourself. You need to touch yourself. So spend time with yourself. Love yourself. Touch yourself. Get to know your clitoris. This is everything going on there. Everything's going on there. So if you don't know yourself, if you don't touch yourself, if you don't have an orgasm yourself, There is no one gonna do it for you. And you can.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I want to echo.
Yeah.
Touch yourself.
Yeah, touch yourself.
But I know women really do come into my office and they are afraid to touch themselves. They think that it is dirty. They've been told that it's not, like it's not good. A lot of times, let me tell you the story. This is real personal. I kind of think y'all should turn your cameras off at this moment. Right? But no. So when I was a little girl, I was probably, I don't know, 10, 9, 10. Another little girl who was probably 2 or 3, who was being babysat, was caught with the water running in the bathtub. Legs open, the water, right? She was young, she was experimenting.
Yes.
She got her ass beat. They beat her ass. I was like, I'm gonna try it. There's something going on there. So she got her ass beat and then I went and took a bath. And it was heaven, right? So I had my first orgasm by water coming out of the bathtub when I was like maybe 11. So I already had orgasms. So I learned how to touch myself, and this is why I am very orgasmic today. I'm not lying. I can have an orgasm without touching myself. Word up.
Yes.
High five. It's rare. And let me tell you how it happened. This is a true story. This is a true story. I was sitting in my car. I was married. I was sitting in my car, and I don't like Wendy Williams. I mean, she aight, but I don't waste my energy because you never get that time back, and I'm just too intellectual for all of that. Anyway, but if you like it, it's cool. But it was a commercial. And in the commercial, someone had called into the radio station and said that they were trying to do Kegels. Does everybody know what Kegels are? Yes. Right? Kegels is when you squeeze your vagina muscles. Right? I'm doing it right now. Anyway. Right. So the woman said, I keep trying to do these Kegels, but every time I do it, I have an orgasm. I'm sitting in my car like, if this bitch is having orgasms, I can have an orgasm because I can do Kegels. Yeah. So I tried it right in the car, and I had an orgasm. And so I called my husband like, no! Let me tell you what I just did. And then he was like, show me. And I was like, okay. But this is why I love what she said. When you know yourself, and listen, guys like the ass popping, the twerking, they get turned on by it. There is nothing like a woman who knows herself. Because if you know yourself, you will blow his fucking mind. I promise you. The twerking chick, she ain't got nothing on you.
And girls, you're gonna have the most amazing orgasm ever. I mean, if you know yourself, if you touch yourself, if you know where goes right there to touch, you can guide him. And you can have the most amazing orgasm.
You can, but let me speak to the women who were ashamed and grew up in a religious household like myself. I'm a pastor's kid, right? You too? Me, you here? Okay, so let me talk to those people who, even if it wasn't a religious household, like you said, many cultures, we just don't talk about sex. Everything in my household, the only time sex was talked about was in fear. Don't you come in here pregnant. Don't you come in here with no disease. I never heard anything, Candace, in audience and panel, about pleasure when it came to sex. But let me shout out one person in this room, and she gonna kill me. My big sister is in this room right there. Hi, Williams! She was instrumental in me learning myself. She came home and said, are you having sex? Are you using condoms? What are you doing? Are you touching yourself? Are you pleasuring yourself? I'm like, ew. What do you mean? She said, is he going down on you? I'm like, I pee out of there. I get my period. I was freaking out, but I had someone, and we're not even that much, we're actually Irish twins. We're only 11 months apart. But she was already having sex. She was sexually active before I was. And she took the time to tell me, even though we're growing up in the same space, God is first, sex is never, unless you're married. I want you to know that I know what we're being taught. I know the agreements that are given to us. Right? But you don't have to subscribe to that. She's like, you or your own. And she told me this from a very young age. So if you have no one that you feel that you can connect with, if you feel you have a Candace, a Stephanie, you know, a Cynthia, or anybody in this place in your life, that is who you connect with and say, I want to learn my body. It's okay. Hey, DM Candace. Yes, she's a celebrity. Yes, she's a porn star. You don't know us. You don't know me. You don't know her. But listen, these women I met with, invest in yourself and your sexuality. It's important. And for me, if it wasn't for my big sister, someone who I looked up to, I wouldn't have thought that it was okay to love me. So love yourself by being okay with asking someone, how do you begin to love yourself physically?
And you know what, ladies? There is nothing wrong with owning BOB, your battery-operated boyfriend. And don't have the men. I need you to have several BOBs. Because the same one does not do everything. There are different muscles and parts of your body that will cause you to be orgasmic. But if you don't know how to use that toy is not meant to get you up. Yes, baby, bring it on up here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There we go. Okay? Yes. Look at me, I said no behind you. You got all kinds of AIDS behind you. All kinds of AIDS. You've got the lingerie back there. You've got the sex toys back there. You've got the little AIDS back there. That's what you're here to do. You guys, do not be shy. You're amongst your own. Explore that stuff back there. Buy stuff. Take it home. Do you. Let your inner freak out. Because guess what? At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, nobody's going to satisfy you better than yourself. Okay? And if you cannot satisfy yourself, you don't know how to tell them to satisfy you. So Candace. You better put that back.
I got all into the outfit.
I just want to say one thing. I do think battery operated things are good, but I think you should learn how to use your fingers. Because you can get addicted to that or not. Like I've used my vibrator too much where it was hurting. And you don't feel nothing for a couple days. Use your fingers. It happens to you.
Go old school. Get a beeper.
I thought I was the only one. They're too rough. No, well, we're pressing it on us too rough. We're going too rough.
I sell sex toys. I would never sell sex toys that I have not tried. I lost my sensation when I was learning how to
Yeah.
work. Okay, it's
Just let you know. We got a toy room.
But even if you don't, even if the toy is not strong, if you're constantly using that force, some of us don't really know what we're doing with the toy, so we're putting too much pressure on the clit, right? And most women, 60% of women have orgasms from their clit. We gotta be nice to the kitty. And y'all want the extra strong batteries, sometimes you might need to take the ones out the remote that are not so strong. You might need to slow it on down.
He will. He will. I'm gonna go over to the radio show and start some shit.
So, all right, so ladies, let's get back to the conversation at hand.
Yeah.
Candace, would you call yourself a sexual addict? I say that I'm not an addict. I know people that are addicts. I have a friend who was actually a sex addict. Like if she was depressed, she would go find out the fuck. She was, anybody. She know people that are. I'm not a sex addict. I've never been asked that question, actually. All right. Go ahead. She's not done yet. Well, she was in the midst of explaining. No, I don't think I'm a sex addict. I'm not, I just, like I said, it was more so for the money. I grew up, in the hood, grew up, if I was a guy, I'd probably sell drugs. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like you grow up, I went to college, I had opportunity, but I was a hustler, so it's like, okay. And thus came the creation of the Pussy Mob, yeah? Pussy Mob. But Pussy Mob is not only women, like I'm a adult entertainer, but I grew up with an amount of women around me that have great jobs, that are great women, that continue with school, that have kids, that, you know, are married. So they assume that I'm just, oh, I'm surrounded by hoes. And it's like, it's not like that. You get like, but I know women that are married, that are sleeping with their husband's best friend or the brother, or women that you're having sex with that hasn't been tested in the last year or two, and you fucking her raw, so let's, you know, I'll get tested every month for the last 10 years because it's part of my job. But the last, you know, you ask the woman or a man you last had sex, ask the last time you've been in a doctor.
Exactly.
And he put his mouth, and people think, oh, I didn't fuck him over, but you put his mouth on you, you kissed him, you sucked his dick, he ate your pussy, you got head, you sat on his face, same thing. You understand? So people are like, oh, but you don't think deep into sexuality until they judge us. People like us in the sex are just like, oh, you're nasty. Oh, really? How nasty am I?
Okay.
Cleaner than you, sweetheart.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So people just have a misjudgment of what, you know.
And I think that's what all of this boils down to, you know, people judging sexuality.
Not being comfortable with your own sexuality. So you judge everybody else. You understand? This is the man that's half gay, half bisexual. He wants a man and a woman down low. You understand? So it's the woman that's down low. You understand? The woman that's not getting enough sex. She's at home not knowing herself, so she's looking at a woman that can express herself comfortably in any place, and she's upset about that. So you get to know yourself, you understand other people.
But, I mean, there's really nothing wrong with pleasure, right? So
it makes everybody happier.
Exactly. And
it makes the world, everything happier.
Exactly. You release endorphins, you know? And that brings me to another topic, you know? A lot of the most taboo sexual act, I think people want to say is anal sex, right?
Not
yes. Well,
I don't really
all right, Miss Chrissy. Well, you know, it's becoming more acceptable, right? But then, you know, I think that a lot of novice men, and I will use the word novice for some of these men, right? They feel that, oh, you know what, I'm going to go to the Penthouse Boutique and buy some lube and just, you know, slap it up on her and just, you know, fuck her ass, you know, as is. But there's a lot of preparation that goes into that, you know. And I think that sometimes the porn industry is kind of careless about not expressing that. Because I have heard many stories about women ending up, and some men, ending up in the emergency room because anal sex was not approached in the right way. And before we get to that topic, ladies, it's a preference. You don't have to like it. But if you do like it, don't be ashamed of it. Don't be ashamed of it. You know? Yes. So, no judgment. This is judgment-free zone. So, how do you feel that within the industry, we can, you know, responsibility for direction can be brought about this while still maintaining the integrity of your film style?
I think it's all, everybody's an adult, so you take it into your own hands. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching it and you're watching someone be, it's like it's still a fantasy. You know what I'm saying? You're watching it be someone getting, you know, getting, I don't know how to say it in a good way, but
just say
anal sex, getting anal sex, you know, hard and aggressively. It's an illusion. It's a fantasy. It's like it's supposed to turn you on, not supposed to, you know, turn around and, you know what I'm saying?
Ladies.
It's a cute picture, though.
But you know, I understood, you know, but I think that what we're referring to